Oh.
Hello, GMT candidates. Good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome. My name is Nidia, but you can call me Ninit. Before we are start the event, I would like to present a safety moment first, safety share from us. Okay, so this afternoon I would like to present about the daily exercise. As we know that currently we are mostly in a work from home situation. So, but we are still stay healthy by doing the stretching exercise throughout the day. So there are some steps that we can do it. First is there are many light exercises that can help you posture and spine. So you can search it on the YouTube or maybe on the other other line. And this exercise has a positive impact on your physical and mental strength. And also the body requires light exercise to maintain proper form, normal movement, and proper flexibility and also form. Please take time to exercise this and choose an exercise that you like, maybe walking, running, or maybe doing some yoga. And it will be interesting if you exercise with friends or colleagues and do it consistently, more around 10 minutes until 3 minutes at time during before you're starting the day. I think that's all the safety shared by today. Hopefully all of you stay safe and stay healthy. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Welcome everyone who is already joining today's event, Global Management Trainee ISS Indonesia webinar with the theme of Building Excellence in People. With me, the MC for today's event, Raihan Alisa Nabila. I want to greet all the CLT. Good afternoon, Pak Elisa, Ibu Ike, Pak Morten, who will be the main speakers for today's event, and also many enthusiastic participants. Good afternoon. Hoping you are all well during this Ramadan for all those who are fasting. I know all of the participants today are really curious about how ISS as a company works and what values we bring to the company and to the people. So today's series of events consists of the explanation of ISS as a company, its values and its services that will be presented by Pak Elisa, our CEO and President Director of ISS Indonesia. It will be followed by Bu Nervita Primasari or Ibu Ike as our People and Culture Director to explain about the GMT program, and our last main speaker will be Pak Morten, our CFO, who will talk about his experience in global exposure by working at ISS. And another exciting agenda, which is the MT alumni sharing sessions. And the last that will wrap up the event is the Q&A session with Pak Elisa, Bu Ike, dan juga Pak Morten. While all the main speaker will present some materials, you can drop down your questions through the slide link and fill the attendance list given in the chat box. Okay. And the main event will start now. But before that, before going to the sessions presented by Pak Elisa, I want to share his professional experience before joining ISS Indonesia. So Pak Elisa previously worked at Hewlett Packard Indonesia as a CEO, and currently, other than working as the CEO and the President Director of ISS Indonesia, he's also working as the Independent Commissioner at PT Indosat and was previously worked as the Independent Commissioner at Garuda Indonesia and PT XL Axiata. Without further ado, everyone please drop down your reaction and give virtual applause to welcome our CEO and President Director of ISS Indonesia, Pak Elisa Lubantoruan.
Thank you, Raihan. Just to check, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, Pak.
Okay. Yeah, just give a thumb. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm glad to see a lot of young people interested to attend this webinar. I can see there are maximum number of attendees from the Zoom meeting. We have 500 people right now attending from Zoom. And I can see also we have 251 already joining through our live streaming YouTube. So there are, I think, a lot of people interested to see what they can hear from this webinar. We have more than 3,000 people confirmed for the webinar. Wow. And just to set the expectation, actually, we will be actually hiring about 10 to 15 people as a management training. So that's the competition that all of you have right now. But anyway, I think this afternoon webinar is not about hiring, but I think it is also about how we can contribute for your development, how we can contribute to help you to grow in your career. For my presentation is about ISS Indonesia, corporate values, and also about the company itself. Let me share the slide. Hopefully you have seen the slide already. Okay, so the title of my presentation is about developing resilient corporate culture. Why corporate culture is very important for the company. This is about the brand, and this is about how people relate to the brand. So our expectation actually that when you see our employee working at the site, or even you don't see them with their uniform, and you can feel the presence of ISS. So that kind of strong brand can influence or can make difference in any facility that we are managing. By the way, this presentation, actually, you don't need to do the print screen, or you don't need to do the camera, but you can download this application. Yeah, Great ISS Magazine. This is a digital magazine made by ISS, and part of this presentation is actually available through this application. So please download this application. There are a lot of other information that you can see from this application. The magazine itself is actually, we have it every 2 months, but there are a lot of also people story from this magazine. It's a good magazine that you can actually learn from people who are successful in their career, in their working life. So ISS, some of you might new to ISS, but looking at the uniform that you can see from this slide, these are the job that we are doing. These are the services that we are providing to manage the facility, to provide the facility services. So these are including cleaning services, security services, food services, pest control, office support, and then outdoor cleaning, or including gardener and technical services, and many other customized services to our key customer. So these are the job that we are doing. We are not in the manpower outsourcing, but we are in facility services outsourcing. From this map, you can see the bubble on top of the map representing where we are in operating in Indonesia. So we are in Indonesia from west to east, from north to south, and you can see that actually we are operating in more than 150 cities around Indonesia, and then we have 11 regional offices outside of Jakarta, and we start on operating in Indonesia from 1996. So in total, number of employees that we have is around 50,000. This is including from our joint operation with some of our customers. Direct employee, we have about 45,000 employees, and we are the biggest in the market. And second to us is far below this number. And in terms of the number of facility that we are managing today is about 5,500 sites for the facility services, and more than 1,000 sites for the security services, and more than 60 sites for the food services. And we do also like building management or integrated facility services in close to 30 sites all over Indonesia. We are only providing B2B services, so we don't do B2C. So if one, let's say I want to have cleaning service from ISS at home, you'll not get it because we don't provide services to the consumer. We only provide services to the business. It's only business to business. We are offering integrated facility services through self-delivery. So not like other company where they provide the same services that we provide through subcontracting. But in ISS, we do mostly self-deliver. We have very small number of subcontracting model. If you look at this map, the other aspect of our business model, not only that we are fully compliant in terms of the minimum wages, so everybody will be paid at least at minimum wages, and plus all the benefit that has been regulated by the government, like BPJS and then THR, and also the right overtime pay that we provide to all our employees. But also we are thinking about living wages, not only minimum wages. Living wages, I mean, if you think about employee, the biggest cost for the employee is actually transportation costs and also the housing costs. So to address this issue, ISS tried to hire employees from the local community. So at least two components of the cost will be minimum for them, transportation and housing. If we hire people from surrounding the project that we are working on, and then the cost of housing and also transportation will be low. See, this is the concept that we see as the living wages. So it doesn't make sense for us, let's say, to hire people from Bogor to be working in Tangerang, or to hire people from Tangerang to be working in Bandung. Yeah, not to mention that actually that we have people from Java Island to be working in Sumatra. It doesn't make sense for that. So as the consequences, if you look at the map, in ISS Indonesia, we have almost all ethnics that we have in Indonesia. So diversity and inclusion is something that very important for the company. And I mentioned about that ISS is not in the manpower outsourcing. We are more on the facility services. Manpower outsourcing, it is actually the product of regulation number 13, 2003. Yeah. So in that model, I think we see people treat employee as production tools. So the only way to make more profitable business or to make business become bigger is actually by managing the cost. And the biggest cost in this industry is manpower cost, all related to compensation and benefit. So if you want to make more profit, and then you try to cut some of these people costs. So we don't do that in ISS. We do business that actually we prioritize compliance on the people compensation and benefit. And also we also regulate some of the working hours. So we move to the next level, that we are focusing on facility services. So we actually got contract from the customer because they think that actually we can do better and more efficient and more effective in terms of the facility services. And some of our customer, actually we have provided experience management, where we are contributing to the quality of their services and also to improve their branding. And then some of the customer, we actually have influenced the transformation in our customer. They have changed from pre to post joining with having ISS services. You can see in some of the example later on that I'll share with you, But I think one of the examples that you can see clearly is about the airport. If you can remember, airport few years ago, like 5 years ago, and today it is totally different airport. Yeah, in the past it's kind of landlord business, but today they are more customer-centric organization. And in some area that actually the presence of ISS influence the changes in community. So some of the example that we have, like in Parapat, Lake Toba, when we have we manage the cleaning and also the facility, the road cleaning, also the lake cleaning, and also the market cleaning. We actually get the community to be involved in maintaining the cleanliness of this road, and they become actually part of the services. So this is part of transformation at the community level. I mentioned about number of employee in ISS Indonesia, 45,000 direct employee and 5,000 through our GO. But actually, another numbers that actually very proud to share, it is about number of new hire in ISS Indonesia. So if you look at in the past 10 years in ISS Indonesia, we have employed more than 260,000, close to 270,000 employee in ISS. This number actually is very big in terms of impact to the economy, in terms of the impact to Indonesian economy. Let's imagine the size of economy of Indonesia, the GNP of Indonesia is about 12,000 trillion IDR. And with average of economic growth about 5% in the past 5 years, Indonesia can only create like 3 million new jobs with that kind of economic growth. So this number is close to 0.5% of economic growth. You put the math on that, it is about 0.5 of 12,000 trillion IDR. So that's the economic value of job creation that we have done in the past 10 years through ISS Indonesia. So this is one of the motivation actually for us to grow the business, to make this business better. And that's also the reason why we need to hire a good people, a good leader to drive this business. Because it is not only achieving the company goals, the company KPI, but also the biggest actually achievement, the biggest contribution that we can have to economy of Indonesia is about job creation. And this job creation will have actually minimize the number of unemployment or half employment in the country. So that's the biggest contribution that I can say through ISS. And then if you join ISS, you will be part of it, who create this big contribution to the nation. We talk about the corporate values. These are the values that we have in ISS Indonesia. It is not only memorizing all of these words, understanding all of these words, the meaning of this, but it is about actually doing what we say. So unity is about actually accepting diversity, and then honesty, responsibility, and personship, and also we deliver quality. All of this need to be understood and then need to be done by every ISS employee. But the question will be, how will be, our employee who are joining from very low education understand this kind of values? To make it simple, to make it easier, actually, as I mentioned the number, but also about 95% to 98% of employees that we have, they are just graduated from SMK or SMR, so not like graduated like yourself, but they are mostly coming from very low education. And if you ask them, also most of them, about 60 to 70%, the number that I mentioned before, that newly recruited, they are mostly actually with zero experience. And the third aspect of it is actually when you ask them either their main dream is actually to be the cleaner or to be the security guard, that will be the last choice for them. So it is also with very low motivation. So this is the challenge that we are looking for management training to be the leader in the company. And then you need to manage this kind of manpower or human capital that we have, low education, low experience, and low motivation. How you can change them become people who are very successful in their life or menjadi manusia unggul. So to explain this, it is about actually understanding what is the corporate values, and then to start with, you need to accept whoever you are, and then based on that, you need to show the best of me. That will be the first step that we need to do. So we actually have this clip just to make people accept themselves as is, and then start from that baseline to develop themselves.
Panggilan Ibu Pertiwi membangunkan seorang anak bangsa, menyongsong kearifan sebuah keluarga yang tak pernah lupa akan Sang Pencipta. Doa kasih keluarga terpanjang seiring langkah kaki pejuang bangsa. Menatap masa depan dengan penuh kepastian, sikap pekerja keras yang tak pernah sirna. Kawan dan keluarga yang tak ada segan, menjadi luapan satu kasih dari Sang Fajar. Ya Robi, inilah aku, manusia Indonesia. Langkah kaki berderap maju, laksana kawanan pahlawan menggapai asa. Menatap langit dengan penuh pengharapan, yakin akan visi hidup pemberian Tuhan. Terlahir untuk menjunjung kejujuran, mengerti panggilan hati nurani. Tanggalkan semua kelelahan dengan senyuman. Sopan santun adalah jiwa kami. Tak henti ikut membangun negeri agar terajut mutiara di zamrud Katulistiwa. Perjuangan kami tidak berhenti di sini. Selama sinar kemuliaan itu bersinar, selama itulah kami ada di sini. Aku, dia, mereka, kita bangga menjadi manusia Indonesia.
Yeah, this is one of the way to make it simple to understand what is the corporate value that we want to have in ISS. Instead of memorizing 5 values that we have, is actually by giving example how people will behave or perform in their life. So it is very close to us, in our daily life. And it is something that actually that easily to be developed. Start with accepting ourselves as is, and then try to develop ourselves from that baseline. And it is actually one of the first step to develop successful people, because by accepting ourselves, and then we can actually develop by ourselves. And it is actually available in our family, in our neighbor, in our ethnic, there are a lot of values that relate to what we have in ISS. Honesty, for example, everybody will understand honesty. I mean, from that clip, you can see actually that people has been actually educated, have been given by our parents about what is the concept of honesty. And then entrepreneurship as well, working hard, and then about the unity, those kind of things. It is something that we can see in our community. So this is one of the examples that we can do that. The next step is actually once we accept ourselves as is, that we are proud about ourselves, we are proud about us as employee, we are proud being a cleaner, we are proud being a security guard. The next thing is about the service concept that we have. This is one of the example of training material that we have. We call it actually language independent because there is no subtitle and there is no voiceover. I would like you to look at this clip and then observe the behavior. And then later on, we can collect from you what are the behavior that you have observed from this clip. Yeah. Okay, let's try to do this exercise for 1 minute, but there will be a slightly delay for those who are joining from YouTube. So if you can take your mobile phone or browser, yeah, through slido.com or through this QR code. The question is actually what kind of behavior that you observe from this clip. Okay, there are a lot of response, yeah, from 500 attendees from Zoom and 334 people from YouTube. So those are the behavior. I mean, this is one of the training material that we have, language independent, no subtitle, no voiceover. And the talent that we have in this training material is actually from Europe. Just to explain as well that the job that we are doing also, it is being done in everywhere around the world. It's not only for Indonesian. So, okay, let's stop this Slido, and then we can move to the next slide. So this is some of the, what do you call it, the characters that we observed from this clip. So it is about positive. If you look at, I mean, the reception, we call reception, she is actually care about the visitors, the guests, but not only care about the guests, but the next step is actually that she does things about it. So she do something about it, she does something about it, and by offering reading glass. And if you look at also the barista, when the guest looking for sugar, not only providing the sugar, but also he provide chocolate as well. So it is actually surprises that we can create in our working place. And if you look at technician as well, when they look at there is a guest that actually have problem with the trolley, and then he tried to fix it. Also explaining that actually even it is not our job, but if we can help people, and then we can help people as well. The last example is about the gardener, the lady gardener. I mean, there are two options in that kind of situation that we can choose, right? If you are a negative person, and then you will be angry, yeah. Well, I mean, you are working, and then the kids are playing ball, and then disturb you what you're doing, and then you could be angry about it, and the kids actually ready for that kind of reaction. But what was happened, actually, the gardener chose to have a positive response on that, and then she smiled, and even also she throw the ball to the kids, just like saying that I want to be part of it. So these are some of the examples that actually that will change our life, dependent on what do we choose to do, what do you choose to react. And behavior is actually your first response to react to whatever happened surrounding you. That's one of the examples that we try to develop in our people, to be a positive person, to be proactive, and then to be caring about other people, and then to be helpful. And then the other concept that also we explain to our employee is about the Ikigai concept. The Ikigai concept, it is about, the first dimension is about what you love to do. So you need to love what you do. I mean, it is the choice that you make consciously. So you need to love about it. And then secondly, you need to develop yourself to be the best in what you're doing. And everybody, I mean, coming to the job is actually without knowing what they're not to do. And even you are graduated from the best school, but when you join a company, you still need to start learning about what they are doing there. So everybody will have the same baseline. So the successful people, yeah, who are actually willing to learn a lot and learn fast. So you need to be open for learning. So to be good in what you're doing, you need to be a good learner. And the third one is about what you can be paid for. I mean, if you get earning like 5 million or 10 million or 100 million, it doesn't matter the number. But the most important thing is about actually how you can be thankful, whatever that you can earn from the job that you are doing. When you are thankful, and then you think that actually what you have earned has been, I mean, exceeding your expectation. This is again dependent on us. If you can be a thankful person, and then you will be satisfied with your job. And the last one is about what the world needs. This is about purpose. So when you visit, let's say one of the hospitals that we manage, like Siloam Hospital, when you ask them, what is your job? And it is not the cleaner, but they will say, my job is to help patients to be cured as soon as possible. My job is to have visitors to feel comfortable to visit the hospital. It is about the purpose. It is not about what, but it is about why. And the why question actually will drive us to the purpose of what we are doing. And this is the next slide that I will be explaining. This is about our purpose in ISS and the core story that we create, we develop in the company. ISS, is a people company. People are the very heart of ISS. They always has been since 1901. Yeah, ISS has been. It was established in 1901, so 120 years, more than 120 years. Not many company in the world with this kind of long story, long history like ISS. And ISS has been a people organization working with a strong belief that great people can and do make a difference. So this is the main foundation that we have, the main belief that we have within the company. And the heritage that we have is about fairness, equality, and inclusion. This is not only in Indonesia, but everywhere. And thinking about what we are doing in ISS, as I explained through the uniform that you have seen in the beginning of this presentation, it is related to facility, space, workplace, building, workspace, places, environment, any place. So any place that relate to, and what we do, it is about connecting people and places. It is us to make the relevance of the places. So what is the difference? One hospital to another, where we have ISS or we don't have ISS, it is about creating meaning of the place, about connecting people with the place. And this is our purpose, connecting people and places to make the world better. If you look at word that I highlight here, it is about people, it is about places, and at the end, it is about the purpose to make the world work better. And our value proposition, it is about delivering our commitment to the customer. And if you look at from this, the amber color, it is about business performance. It is about the KPI. It's about the contract that we have with our customer related to the impact of what we are doing on the business side. It is a business performance, more productive to the high standard. But if you look at the blue color, to make life easier, enjoyable, and delivered by people who care, this is about experience that we create, experience that we deliver. It is about memorable experience that people will remember when they see ISS employee working at any site. So this is about the value proposition. So the purpose and then the delivery of our commitment to the customer. And what we can deliver is about places that work, places that think, and places that give. Places that work, it is about the relevance of the place to what they intend to be. And then places that think is about smart building, smart places, where we actually in adopting the technology, IoT, and especially in this digital economy. Places that give is about our contribution to the earth. It is about our activity that will actually minimize the waste, and it is actually about related to health, environment, and safety. And it is about how we can educate, influence the community to have the perspective of, now it is very popular, ESG, environment, social, and governance. And all of this, we need to develop an integrated reward management system. This is the reward management system that we have in ISS. Every 3 months, we have the best employee award, where we do consistent merit system to actually reward our employee. And our reward system is based on also Pandawa Lima, where everybody who have performed and also behave well consistently in 3 months, we will give them Sadewa reward. And within 6 months, they will get Nakula reward. And 9 months will get Arjuna reward and Bima for 12 months in the row. When you reach Bima, and then you will get a lot of benefit of having this Bima pin, Bima reward. Your salary increase will be the highest, and then you have the opportunity to be promoted, and then you have also probability to be assigned to different types of job. And then best of the best, we will select Punta Dewa. Then Punta Dewa, they will get also Umroh for 2 people or Holy Land for 2 people, dependent on what religion you have. And then we have one of recognition, Punakawan Club. And then best of the best of this will be Apple Award. They will be competing at the global level. And we will have the global leadership conference where the Apple Award winner will be rewarded. And they need to come to this event as well. And as I mentioned before, there are some transformation has happened in our customer. It is about cultural transformation. If you look at some of the example, is actually in GBK, Gelora Bung Karno. If you remember how Gelora Bung Karno was managed before and how that's actually today, this is the difference that you can have. And then we have Silom Hospital. I mentioned that many times already. And then we have also the Terminal 3 or the airport. Yeah, I explained that as well. Yeah, so basically the ISS transformation journey is actually now we change the industry from manpower outsourcing to experience management or experience economy to transformation model. And we actually make the change, we influence the change at our customer. And for you, as the candidate for our management trainee, one of the expectations for you actually to develop your leadership, and we can change from command and control to become empowerment model, and then to change the business from manpower outsourcing to experience management and transformation, and also to keep maintaining the compliance level that we have, fully compliance, and about proudness, zero experience, low education, and the employee with minimal motivation, and being shy, being a part of ISS, become someone who are very proud to be part of the company, and including yourself. Some of the evidence that we have actually during this pandemic time period, we have people working at Wisma Atlet, about 380 of them, about 18 months working there. But really, I mean, this is something that we can proud of. None of them actually impacted by COVID because we provide support, PPE, and then we provide also system, how they can survive in this kind of difficult situation. And actually, they are happy to do the job even with high risk. For the closing, I'll show you one of the clip about what we are doing so far. Hopefully this will motivate you to join.
Indonesia yang kita cintai tak lepas dari keindahan alam dan keberagamannya. Tapi coba lihat lebih dekat, baik lingkungan sekitar maupun perilaku kita sehari-hari. Sejenak coba perhatikan, adakah sesuatu yang tak apik seperti sudah dimaklumi? Ciri khas bangsa yang berbudi luhur sudah selayaknya kita junjung tinggi. Tinggalkan yang tidak sesuai, saatnya bergerak.
Pagi Nang Baru.
Pagi Nang.
Wah, mau pergi bersih-bersih sampah saja kau begitu dandananmu rapi kali.
Haruslah Namboru. Kebersihan itu kan sebagian dari iman, jadi harus cantik dan rapi.
Permisi, Mas.
Mas, ngapain dibersihin? Ntar juga kotor lagi.
Kan supaya mainnya enak dan nyaman, Mas.
Terima kasih Mbak ya.
Mari ambil keputusan untuk menjadi bangsa yang lebih baik. Karena semua itu ada di tangan kita. Dengan memulai dari langkah kecil, mempengaruhi orang-orang terdekat, dan bahkan lingkungan yang lebih luas lagi. Menghidupkan kembali nilai luhur bangsa untuk saling menolong sesama. Jika kita semua mengambil bagian, misi sebesar apapun dapat dicapai bersama-sama. Kebiasaan bahu-membahu yang dilakukan dari hati akan menghidupkan kembali semangat gotong royong. Menyentuh dasar hati siapapun yang melihatnya, merangkul keberagaman dan menciptakan kerukunan. Sehingga dapat menginspirasi orang lain untuk melakukan hal yang sama. Bersinergi untuk mencapai satu tujuan. Menjadi teladan untuk generasi mendatang, dan mengembalikan harapan adanya hari esok yang lebih baik. Mari saling mengingatkan bahwa ini adalah tanggung jawab kita bersama. Sebagai bagian keluarga dari bangsa yang besar, yang tak ternilai harganya. Sampai akhirnya kita bangga menjadi manusia Indonesia.
Yeah, that's the end of my presentation. Just to summarize, so working for ISS, basically, we are doing CSR. Yeah, the whole business process, the whole life cycle that we are doing is actually related to CSR. Why I said that? One, actually, we recruited people who are not actually recruited by other companies, because they have low education, low experience, and low motivation. And these are the people that we are hiring in ISS Indonesia. They don't have enough experience and education to do the job. We train them. We develop them to be the best people who are doing their job. And we also protect them from the regulation, compliance of regulation. And we provide career growth for all of them to be a better person and also to be developed in their career. And also we help the community to create jobs. So that's why I said the whole activity that we are doing in ISS is actually CSR, corporate social responsibility. But at the same time, you will have the opportunity to develop yourself in corporate life, to develop yourself from leading yourself, leading other people, and leading business. Those are the things that you will get from management trainee program. I'm reminded by the MC that my time is up. So thank you, Raihan. Over to you.
Thank you, Pak Elisa, for the motivation for us. And as the future leaders. And thank you for the presentation today. And the presentations about ISS Indonesia, what kind of services we provide, how ISS Indonesia develop its people, maintain its system, and some of the examples of the innovations or services at our clients' area, ISS values, and how we as an organization support to build excellence in people. And I believe there will be many questions asked by our participant today to Pak Elisa, but don't worry, there will be a Q&A session after all the main speakers' presentation today. And you can ask questions by writing them on Slido. And the Slido link is already given in the chat box. And also don't forget to fill in the attendance list. Okay, moving on to the next agenda. The next agenda will be focusing on GMT program that will be presented by Ibu Ike as our People and Culture Director. But before giving the virtual stage to Ibu Ike, I want to share her professional experience before joining ISS. Bu Ike previously worked as a country HR manager at SAP Indonesia and also previously worked at Hewlett Packard, Citibank, and MNC Bank. Okay, without further ado, please everyone give your virtual applause to our PNC Director, Ibu Nervita Primasari. The spotlight is on you, Bu Ike.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can hear your voice clearly, Bu.
Okay, great. So, I'm really glad to see the response during Pak Elisa presentation that everybody expressed their interest to join ISS. So if you want to join ISS, this is one of the way how you join us. We have what we call Global Management Trainee Program, where you can see in my presentation, you can see how you join this program and what will be the career that you can, your career path as a management trainee program. Later on, as Rayhan mentioned, there will be a sharing session from the Global Management Trainee alumni and also one of our colleague, CFO ISS Indonesia, who will also share what will be the challenge or the benefit of in the global assignment program. So let's start by understanding what is the purpose of the program. You have learned from Pak Elisa that when we talk about ISS, all are about people. So what we are doing here, Pak Elisa mentioned, is a CSR, but mostly what we are doing here is dealing with people, and our business is people. To ensure that our company purposes is achieved, we need a strong leader that is not who will be able to lead the people to achieve the goals, and not only be a manager, but be a strong leader that can be that can have inspired the people and together move towards our purpose. So this is the key purpose of the management training program. We want to nurture our future leader to create a talented and ambitious leader that will be, or that will lead ISS in the future. Yeah, to be able to lead ISS in the future, Global Management Training Program will go through 18 months program where you will learn operational excellence. It's more focusing on how you deliver your target or your task excellence. And also you will learn about the commercial excellence. It's more how you learn on the business, and leadership excellence where you will learn how to be a good leader here. So by having these three competencies or these three abilities, you'll be able, or as a leader, you'll be able to operate and manage the team efficiently. You'll be able to build the customer relation, to build the business, and also you'll be able to lead your team. So this leader or this kind of leader, this leader character that we are looking for, and therefore we need a young talent, a strong talent to join our global management trainee. This program is a process. So you have to go through 18 months process where the 18 months program will be divided into 3 tours. First, we will welcome you as part of the ISS team. We will give you the basic knowledge of learning, people and culture, procurement and marketing. And after that, we will move you into your first tour where you will learn a single service line. You'll understand the core ISS business. You will be part of the operational excellence. You will learn about operational knowledge, how you supervise the team, part of the leadership excellence. You will also learn how to be a service manager and how you deliver service excellence. So that will be your first tour. Moving into your second tour, that will be 2 lines. You will learn about 2 lines of services. If in the earlier slide that Elisa shared, you see the uniform of a different services that we deliver to the client. Your first tour, you will only focus on 1 services, which means you will only focus on cleaning, for example, or security. But on the second tour, you will start learning how to manage more than 1 services to the client. Because the more the services that we have to the client, more complex solution that we need to deliver to the client, and we need to understand client more in terms of their needs and how we support them to fulfill their purpose. Like what Elisa mentioned, when we work in the hospital, our goals is not, or our people will say we are not cleaner. We actually helping the people from help to transform the people from sickness to wellness, or help to the patient to have a speedy recovery. So basically what we need the employee or our employee understand the purpose is not only what to do, but what will be the result and how to do it. So that's on the second line of services. The third line of services, the third line of the tour, the third tour, you will learn about key account management. That's where actually you learn to be a mini CEO. It's just like what Elisa currently doing for ISS Indonesia. Being a key account manager means that you have to be responsible for your account, and you have to be responsible from end to end, starting from how you get the sales, how you or get the client, how you deliver the solution, how you negotiate with the client to get better financial book or financial profit and loss, and how you make a transition to make sure that our services is delivered properly. So you will not only learn about a single knowledge here, but you will learn how you manage people, how you manage finance, how you deliver the solution, how you deliver from managing the employee in one region and multiple region and one site to another site. So basically you will learn as a mini CEO here. You will also need to learn how to manage the account profitability, but as well as you also need to make sure that we comply on rule and regulation, and also engaging the people to make sure that our service is delivered as per our promise to the client. So that's the challenge. You will learn how to be the basic or the standard key account manager. Then you will move to the key account manager capabilities, and you will practices into managing a small scale key account or key account business. And it's a real experience. We are not only putting you in a class, we will send you to the client, you will be responsible, and you will start your journey to become a mini CEO in ISS when you do your tour 3. Of course, with all the role and responsibility, we need to equip you with the necessary knowledge and skills. That's where we have mentoring that will be done by country leadership team, which means Elisa, myself, Morten, and all the directors will involve in this journey, will be your mentor. You will be also working with group and regional team. They will deliver workshop. You'll be part of the workshop, and also you will have to attend Key Account Manager certification. It's one of the key program in ISS. So when you graduated, you kind of have a certification or a mini, so-called mini MBA in the services line. You have this Key Account Manager certification. You will also enjoy post-pandemic. We do hope you will be also enjoy to have the talent sharing, to experience talent sharing, working in another country within Asia Pacific. So that's what you will experience in Global Management Trainee Program. Talking about mentoring, I mentioned that to make sure that you are prepared to be a mini CEO, the CLT is ready for you to be your mentor. What we are going to do is we will give you, or we will set a time with you to give you a feedback, an advice, some reflection. Yeah, this will help you to identify what is your aspiration in the future. Identify what will be the knowledge and skill that you need to make you success in this journey, and also develop your personal abilities. So there's some series of assessment and also a discussion on your development that you will have, or that will you enjoy when with your mentor. Our role as mentor is basically to support you, but as well as at the same time giving you a challenge. Yeah, we'll be your advisor. Sometimes will be your motivator, will be your coach when you face a challenge. And we also will open a network, help you to open a network, so that when you graduated from the GMT program, you know the people already, you know the client, and you're ready to fly as the future key account manager. So that's the our role as a mentor. Okay, when you start your career as a global management trainee, that will be your first steps in the long or in your career journey. After you graduate from global management trainee, you will be the site manager or facility coordinator. So the program will be 18 months. We will have 18 months program. So when you graduated from global management trainee, you will be the site manager or facility coordinator. Well, you will have your own team to manage. And after that, the journey will be yours. You can move the ladder fast. So moving from site manager, become the operation head, become the key account manager, and become the operation director. If you ask me, what will be the years or the time that we set for that? That really depends on your, depends on you. So each of you will have different stroke. So if you want it fast, you can be fast. If you want it a bit slow, you can be slow. But the goal is that we want to have a qualified leader in the future. So this is my last slide. If you hold a bachelor degree, you're fluent in English, both verbal and written, and you are willing to take a challenge to be assigned, not only in Jakarta, but also willing to be assigned in the client side all across Indonesia. You're willing to take a challenge, have a positive impact, or you want to share with the more people, create more job opportunity. If you want to be part of that, you want to be part of us, you can just easily visit our recruitment website and apply for a global management trainee position. So now I encourage you to prepare and go into the site, apply for this management trainee, go through all the process, and I do hope that Elisa mentioned we will select it only 10 management trainee, and I do hope that one of you will be part of the 10 GMT that we selected. Thank you, Rehan. Over the time to you.
Thank you, Ibu Ike, for the explanation about Global Management Trainee Program and what we are going to experience once we are accepted as a JMT. And if I may conclude, during those 18-month program, we will be rotated in many different clients and departments at ISS Indonesia. And there is definitely a creation of our career path at ISS Indonesia. And other than the previous experience that we can have is having the board of directors of ISS Indonesia as our coach and mentor during the program. Once again, thank you, Ibu Ike. What an exciting journey we will have as a global management trainee. And to remind all the participants and young leaders here today, there will be a Q&A sessions after all the agenda finish. And you can ask questions by writing them on Slido. And the Slido link is already given in the chat box. And don't forget to fill in the attendance list. Next agenda, we will be focusing on the global exposure by working at ISS that will be presented by Pak Morten as our CFO at ISS Indonesia. Pak Morten previously worked as a head of strategic project at Dunn Supermarket, and then moving on in 2014, he worked as a head of finance, technology, and director PMO at Group Denmark. And before joining ISS Indonesia in 2021, he previously worked as a head of financial advisory service and finance advisory director at ISS Global in Denmark. Without further ado, please welcome our CFO, Pak Morten. Over to you, Pak.
Thank you, Bu. Thank you very much, and selamat sore, Bapak Ibu sekalian. And thank you for listening in on this webinar, where I've had the pleasure to present some of the of my journey with ISS. As Bu Raina just showed you, I have had other jobs before I joined in ISS in 2019. And I will take you through some of it. But just for starters, let's go back just a couple of who I am as a person. Next slide, please. As mentioned, my name is Morten Lenz, and obviously you can see that I'm not a native Indonesian. I'm born and raised in Denmark, where we have our headquarters in ISS. My background is a financial background. I'm actually holding a master's in financial and accounting management, but also top that up with multiple areas within optimization, MBA finance, and executive management program from INSEAD. But on top of that, I'm also a person. I'm a normal employee with ISS. I'm also a husband and a father, so as you can see here on my screen. And I truly believe that ISS is a people company, as Elisa said, that we really invest and educate our people so that we can enjoy the benefits all together. Yes, so let's start on looking at the ISS company from a global perspective. If we look around the world, we are over 400,000 employees, serving more than 40,000 customers in more than 30 countries. And as you can see, as Lisa said, that we were founded in 1901 in Denmark, in Copenhagen, Denmark. And you can see the presence of our countries are mostly in Europe. We have 2 countries in the Americas, in the United States and Mexico, but we also have a good presence around the Asian Pacific area, where you of course know the Jakarta, Indonesia presence, but we also in India, Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, Japan, and Australia, New Zealand. So we are fairly present around the world, and we are doing really good work around the world. So let me show you some of the journey that I have taken as I started working for ISS. As mentioned, I started as Financial Advisory Director. And on the day that I started, I was sent to San Antonio, Texas, in the United States, on an internship there for 6 months, helping out as Finance Director for the Specialized Division. The Specialized Division is the division where we are doing mostly a single service to our clients. That could be cleaning or security or similar here in Indonesia, but in the US it's mostly cleaning services. And helping out for a 6-month period and helping out the Specialized Division on everything that you can imagine on financial budgets, forecasting, looking at customer profitability, talking to key account managers. That also Buike mentioned, that is some of the career steps that you can be doing for in ISS. We are based in the San Antonio, Texas, in the US, but we also have a large presence in San Antonio, where we have a large food service business, where we serve a lot of the major clients in the technology segment, such as Google or Facebook or Microsoft. They all are part of the clientele in the American business. By standing there 6 months, I was hiring my replacement, an American that joined in as the permanent finance director, and I returned back to Europe. Actually, I returned back to London, moving into the business in our UK and Ireland business. This is the biggest single country that we have in the ISS group. In the UK business, I was helping the CFO, Bruce van der Weg, to help him improve the free cash flow and the working capital and the budget processes. Just a year before me arriving there, the UK business have done a big implementation of new ERP systems going into Navision, and also a big implementation of a purchase order system called Coupa. And unfortunately, there have been some issues with the systems, generating some variances that we couldn't understand. So my job there was to help out and understand and put in place processes that work with the business there, and also working with our newly set up shared service center that was situated in Bolton, North London or North England, that were working together with our outsourcing partner in India. After staying there for 6 months, COVID happened. So at the beginning of 2020, COVID happened around the world with a lot of travel restrictions. Basically, the whole world shut down. So that means that for the last 10 months, I had to work out of Copenhagen and helping the UK business from our Copenhagen office. When that was done, I returned back as the leader of Financial Advisory Service in Denmark. As a leader in the Financial Service Advisory Service, which can be translated into an intern consultancy company for ISS. This service department is helping out globally where we have issues. And we are working with a small team between 5 or 10 people that is helping out everywhere around the world that has the need for additional hands and help. It's actually a really good experience to come into the Copenhagen office and work in finance advisory service if you have the burning ambitions to work like a consultant for the business in global. We actually have today, this week and next week, we have one of the employees from the Finance Advisory Service right here in Indonesia. His name is Rick. He's normally working based in Holland for ISS in Holland, but he's here this week and next week to help out on an issue that he is deemed to do, is very good at. He's actually a subject matter expert. So he's here for 2 weeks helping out, educating us here in Indonesia to do better also here in Indonesia. The beautiful thing about working in headquarters ISS in Copenhagen is the number of people, the number of nationalities that you meet there. So among my colleagues in the headquarter in Copenhagen, I have German colleagues, I have British colleagues, I have Indian colleagues, I have Polish colleagues sitting in the same office that I was working at in Copenhagen. Actually, we are very diverse in that kind of sense. So if you look at the board of directors, the executive group management in ISS, we have people from Australia, Hong Kong, Germany, of course, Denmark, sitting at the executive group management board in Denmark, taking care of the overall strategy for ISS. So I can really recommend that to take an opportunity in ISS headquarters Denmark if possible. But as you can see, I only stayed for a couple of months before I had the opportunity to move here to Jakarta. So basically, actually this month, a year ago, I came into this fine country and working as CFO for ISS Indonesia. And I must say that I've been really thrilled to make the acquaintance of this great country and the people inside, both people in ISS Indonesia and outside of Indonesia. It's been really a pleasure to come here and work. But I also think that you can look at the screen here to look at the opportunities that ISS can provide to you if you want to, and you put the efforts in place. You can see I've been working on 3 continents. I've been all over the world, and now sitting here in Indonesia and getting a lot of experience, both for me personally, for me professionally, but also I think that I can be contributing to this great company of ISS Indonesia with my knowledge from my colleagues in Copenhagen, London, and in the US. And I will say that I have been the pleasure of working internationally. The community that ISS provide is second to none, I would say. So for instance, in the US, when I was there for 6 months, one of the colleagues there, Billy, was a British person that was situated in Singapore for ISS before she was offered to move to San Antonio, where she still works at this point in time. In Copenhagen, when I was there, I worked together with a colleague, Malik, an Indian colleague, that was moved from India to Copenhagen to take care as finance director for some of the Nordic countries in Europe. Now he is the CFO for Singapore, for ISS Singapore, and we are having good times talking together and utilizing the community that we are a part of. So we are working together across the board. And some of the things that I'm also proud of to say is that I have a double reporting line. First of all, I report into the CEO and president of ISS Indonesia, Pa Elisa, but also I have a reporting line into the APAC CFO, Jessie Lim, situated in Singapore. That means that I'm exposed to the regional office a lot, together with my colleagues of India, Pawan in India, Malik in Singapore, Hudson in Hong Kong, Sam in China, and Ian in Australia and New Zealand. All of these colleagues I work with, if not every week, then every other week. We meet up, we discuss problems and issues and how to solve them. We brainstorm, we find solutions together. That is not only because I'm the CFO of Indonesia. Actually, this is something that we encourage all around the organization. So for instance, if you look at my team, I have a risk manager that takes care of business risks in Indonesia. I actually encourage her, and she has now a community with her peers in India, Hong Kong, Singapore, and so on. So she meets up every month to discuss risk assessments, development and risk with her colleagues, around the APAC region. And she's also reporting in to the global risk manager in Copenhagen and in Poland, Warsaw in Poland. So she also is having that kind of community. I can say the same thing for our IT manager. He's working together with his colleagues around here in APAC and has a dotted line into Luke, the regional IT director situating in Sydney, Australia. If I'm looking at the internal auditors and control compliance, the same thing is happening. There's a community that we're working together across borders and also towards Copenhagen, where we report in our development. And this is not only one thing that happens in finance, it happens for the P&C areas too. It also happens for operation. So as Lisa mentioned, that we are working with international companies. We have what we call global key accounts. And should you be working for one of those here in Indonesia, like the Philip Morris, the Citibank, the Hewlett Packard, and so on, you will be exposed to other countries' peers, to the global account team that will contact you, and you will work together with them, also learning from them, and also be and motivational and inspirational to these guys in other countries. So clearly, we have the opportunity to give you a lot of community and network in the country and outside of the country if you should choose so. Not only that, we're not only importing talent to the country, we're also exporting good things here from Indonesia. Let me tell you some of the stories that we have been working on here. Last year, we developed a platform to keep track of the performance of all the projects that we are running here in Indonesia. That platform was developed here in Indonesia by the Indonesian team in the operational performance area and with our IT specialists. That platform have now been exposed to the whole of the ISS world, and it's been now being translated into the whole of region of APAC. We also last year was the first country in ISS to become ISO 37001 certified. If you don't know it, it's about anti-bribery and corruption. We were the first country, so that also led to a lot of exposure for the manager of internal controls and compliance that we have here in Indonesia. It is also a very good highlights for that team. So clearly, we have the opportunity to work with a big community around the world. Having been exposed to all the countries, I can say that working with culture is a great thing. I can really feel the opportunity and learning from you guys, from our London and UK based colleagues and our American colleagues. It's a great thrill to be part of the ISS. And if you should choose, by joining ISS, you will be a part of a global community that will give you the opportunity to thrive or be exposed to opportunities, both nationally and internationally, if you should choose so. The only thing you need to do is to apply to the GMT program, be selected, and then make sure you do the best you can be in those 18 months that Buike talked about. Thank you for listening to me and listening to my journey. And then I will give it back to you, Raina.
Thank you, Pak Morten, for sharing your personal experience and the exposure by working at ISS. As Pak Morten mentioned, we have several global corporate clients that we are partnering, and we can see that ISS is not only operating in Asia, even Asia Pacific, but also our headquarters is located in Denmark, and ISS have been expanded in the Americas and other countries, and there are many opportunities to work with the ISS teams in other countries and how we can collaborate to make ISS bigger and inspire more people. Okay, before moving on to the next agenda, let's have a group picture for the board of directors and all the participants. So, young leaders, open your camera to have a picture with Pak Elisa, Pak Morten, and Buike. Okay, the crew, can you help me? On my mark, on three. On three, Bapak, Ibu, and young leaders. Okay, smile to the camera. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there are 10 slides. Okay, moving on to the second slide. 1, 2, 3.
20
Okay.
screens.
Okay, once again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, all the crew, have you got the pictures? All the slides? Okay, once again, 5 more. 1, 2, 3.
Our people joining from YouTube, they don't have it.
Yeah. Okay, next time, yeah, all the participants joining on YouTube. Okay, clear? Okay, thank you, everyone. Please don't leave. Yeah. We still have one agenda left. Okay, all the speakers have presented all the materials, but I know and I believe that there will be many questions to be asked to Pa Elisa, Pak Morten, and Bu Ike. So you can drop it down in the Slido link in the chat box. And also don't forget to fill in the attendance list. Okay, moving on to the next agenda. Many of you may be curious who is the special guest of the MT alumni. And before joining us in the spotlight, let's watch the MT alumni testimonial video. So check this out.
ISS Indonesia Management Trainee Program has led me to a challenging and exciting journey of my career. I received a lot of constant training, and I was lucky to have great mentors throughout the process. I also learned a lot of things and discovered a new way of thinking, and also upgrading my skill, which I am still trying to learn.
I was given the opportunity to learn in many departments in ISS Indonesia. I was also blessed with the opportunity to be mentored directly by the CLT team, from which I could learn how they manage themselves, how they manage their teams, and how they manage difficult situations. And I tried to implement what I learned to myself.
There was a time when I had an opportunity to act as frontliners for a few months, while at the same time, I also was mentored by the CLT team. Having the chance to share, to discuss, even to attend an in-person meeting. Those opportunities have given me a lot of valuable perspective and also a point of view. The program really changed me, not just in a professional way, but also as a person.
I feel so proud and grateful for the opportunities through the MT program. Thanks to the head of the program, the mentors, and the host for giving me a strong foundation to develop myself and my professional career with new perspective and to be able to create innovation at site. And I still have many things to learn, to develop, and so much to achieve.
Everyone, please welcome our management trainee alumni, Gabriel Putri Natalia, or you can call her Gaby. Let's give the spotlight to Gaby. Hi, Gaby. How are you?
Hi, Raihan. Hello, everybody.
Okay, thank you for joining us today. I know you have a really tight schedule as you have been joining ISS since 2018, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it's been 4 years since 2018. Sorry.
Okay, maybe you can tell us more about your current activities or responsibility today at ISS Indonesia before we can dig down on your MT journey.
Okay, thank you, Rehan. Just call me Gaby. I see in the chat. Hello, Mrs. Gaby. I'm still single, everybody. Okay. Currently, I manage an account, key account, for sure, Hartono Plantation Indonesia. And my daily routine now, yeah, as you know, have online meeting and also have coordination with clients, teams. For information, my teams is on Sumba, at Sumba, Nusa Tenggara Timur. So we have to coordinate have coordination every day to make everything is on the track. And as a part of my program, management trainee 2018, it's about 18 months, if I'm not mistaken. And I learned so much about what is it called, about teamwork, and also about ISS itself. It's not only about the business, of service, but it's also about the people and also the culture. If you want to know more, just apply for the position at ISS. Thank you, Rehan.
Yeah, thank you for the answer for the first questions. Yeah, as we know that ISS Indonesia is a really great example of a school of life. Do you agree?
100% agree.
Okay. Okay, now we can move on to the recruitment. Can you tell us more of your experience of um, getting a job as a management trainee first in 2018, and maybe you can tell us a bit more, how do you know ISS Indonesia?
I found ISS Indonesia from job fair in my campus, Universitas Indonesia. Then for the that time, I found it so interesting because I have a process about 1 month, and I heard that I am one of 15 management trainee that fully graduated or selected from 8,000 people. So interesting that after that, I also followed some process like induction process from all of the departments in IS Indonesia. Then the interesting thing, I also have mentorship, and the mentorship is from our CLT or country leadership team, or maybe director teams. Pak Elisa, Bu Ike is also are also there as my mentor. And I also had on-job training. For your information, our service, facility service. So I have to know about our core service. So I had on-job training as a cleaner, service supervisor at several hospital in Jakarta, like Silom TB Simatupang, RSPI Puri Indah, and also Eko Hospital BSD. It's about 1 year. Then management selected me to be sent to Singapore General Hospital for 3 months, and it was a great exposure from there. Then yeah, like you, Rehan, I also had a final presentation to be a management trainee graduate. That's all.
Yeah, and as Ibu Ike has mentioned earlier that our 18-month program consists of tours. Can you tell us or share to us about the first month of your 18-month journey as a management trainee at ISS Indonesia?
It's been 4 years. I almost forget about that. 6 months. The first 6 months, I remember that I had induction. So I could capture most of the picture of the support division, also the operational division that I am in now. Then the interesting part is also about the program. Parallelly with mentorship, I also had experience management development program. It was talking about managerial experience. So it's not only about our service, but how to make service cannot be forget by our customer. So it's so interesting. 6 months.
Okay, and before that, we also had Pa Morten talking about his global exposure, and as I have heard, if I'm not mistaken. You were going through the exchange program at ISS Singapore, so you have experienced some of the global exposure at ISS Indonesia. So can you tell me a bit more about your responsibility during your exchange program?
Okay, it's 3 months exchange, and if you are in the global company, the global exposure is one of the best thing. I think that in that time I was at the responsibility as supporting team of quality control. Actually, it's quite different there and here, but the same team, key account, the lead of the account, and they also have a department quality improvement, and I was charged there. I had several projects like time motion. I count about the time when people are charged in one of the department. Then I had to make a proposal to increase the efficiency of our service, maybe to add some machinery or add some people, something like that. That people improvement or service improvement. It's quite nice to me to know that system and also the mindset of people there.
Wow, what an exciting journey you have experienced. So, because our time is really short, one last question for you, Gaby. What is the most memorable experience you felt during the 18-month program?
There are lots. I think one of the best moment is about the team moment, because I have like 3 places where I have a responsibility there. That when I have to move to another place, my team held a farewell party. Then I learned it's about people. So the personal touch or the people touch is very important. It's the best time, I think. It's the best moment for me to understand them, to work with them, and to achieve our goals together with them.
Thank you, Gaby, for sharing your stories and experience. And thank you for letting us in your tight schedule. I know you have to manage all of your area and sites outside Java Island. So good luck with all the project that you have been doing now. And if I can conclude from the sharing session, the 18-month program will be filled with lots of life lessons because, as you know, at ISS Indonesia, ISS Indonesia is the school of life, and especially when we manage the operational activities at our client side. So once again, thank you, Gaby.
Thank you, Rehan.
Next up, next agenda is the Q&A sessions with Pak Elisa, Bu Ike, and Pak Morten. As I have seen, there are so many questions being asked on Slido. And please, Tim, can you help me show 3 of the chosen questions that will be asked to Pak Elisa, Pak Morten, and Bu Ike? Okay, there are 4 chosen questions. And I see from Jeffin. Is Jeffin still here? If Jeffin is still here, you can open your camera and ask the question directly to our board of directors. Jeffin Edric Faradias. Is Jeffin still here? Okay. I think Jeffin still watching on YouTube. Okay. The questions from Jeffin is, does ISS sustainably improve the state of workers with low education backgrounds and low motivation beyond hiring them as a labor? Okay, I think the questions is suitable for Pak Elisa. You may answer the questions from Jevin, Pak. Does ISS sustainably improve the state of workers with low education backgrounds and low motivation?
Yes. So actually, I mean, the success of the company, the success of people in their working life is not really driven mainly by the education background. I mean, all competencies. We are actually working and living in a very fast-changing industry. So there is no expert about future. Everybody will have the same baseline to deal with tomorrow's. So that's actually one of the basic that we need to accept, we need to understand. So people who has low education, a low experience, I think can be successful in their job if they have very good motivation and they want to invest themselves in the development of themselves. So it is sustainable with the development of the culture that people need to learn. Yeah, not to stop learning, not because you have very high education, you think that you will be better with others. It is not. So in ISS, I always say actually it's not about how much do you know, but it is about how much do you do. So knowing and doing, I think two things that we need to differentiate. There are a lot of people who know a lot but do nothing. I don't think they will be successful in their life. But there are some people who know only little, but they do a lot. They will be successful people. So this is one of the belief that I have, and then also in our team also believe that actually for those people who are unlucky because they are not have the opportunity, they don't have opportunity to have higher education or to have the opportunity to have more experience. But I think if we give them opportunity in our company and then create the environment where they can learn a lot and they can do the best of them, I think they will be successful in their life. By having a lot of people in that kind of framework, I think the company will be sustainable. Because I mean, the turnover that we have in ISS is actually close to 20%. So meaning if we have like 50,000 employees, about 10,000 of them will be actually replaced in every year. So most of the employees that we have actually working for ISS like between 3 to 5 years, not because they don't like ISS, because some of them will get better opportunity. I mean, to be fair, we don't want them to be a cleaner for a long time, right? They need to develop themselves. They need to develop their career. And this is one of our responsibility as a leader as well, how we can develop them, how we can create better opportunity for them. So that's basically the explanation about this question.
Thank you, Pa Elisa. And if I can conclude from some of the Pa Elisa's answer that the successful people are the one who actually do things. You may have rich knowledge about things, but when you do nothing, it will be worthless. And so start and do something for our personal development and influence others to do better things for their lives. Moving on to the second questions. With the rise of unemployed in Indonesia each year, how do ISS help solve this problem through their business and how we as GMT contribute in this? These questions can be answered by Pak Morten or Pak Elisa. Pak Elisa and Pak Morten, you may answer the question.
Thank you, Bu. The increasing unemployment is of course an issue. What we do is that, as Lisa mentioned, that
well, we're losing Pak Morten.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Pak
sorry.
Morten.
So I was mentioning that the unemployment that's rising here in Indonesia, of course, the pandemic has had a big impact to that. But I will say that ISS Indonesia, every year, as Lisa mentioned, we take in somewhere between 15 to 20,000 people or even more. And those people are some people we take in from different levels in the society. And then we bring them into our program. We give them onboarding and training and also development. But that also means that we actually also are exporting 15 to 20,000 people every year into new positions elsewhere with the business here in Indonesia. That could be with our clients. It could also, fortunately, also be with competitors. But meaning that as we take people in and we give them basic training and development, and some other will leave us into other companies, we actually every year are hiring new people into the business, into the service, and that is actually a way for us to help the unemployment in the country. On top of that, we are helping companies to create a better system, a better service, and we can utilize that service across different businesses. So if one customer is struggling and we have to look at the number of people we employ there, we can actually make sure that we somehow move them to another customer that is not impacted as such as this customer that has some trouble at the moment. So that way we are helping maintaining our people in the business, and on top of that, we are hiring new people every year, between 15 to 20,000 people into our business. I think that is a way for us to improve and help on the unemployment. Anything to add on that, Elisa?
Yeah, I think the second part is about how GMT will contribute to this. So in ISS, we have two streams of the development of the leaders within the company. Some of the leaders are actually coming from our placemaker. We have some people actually has been developed from frontliner or from placemaker. They have become supervisor. Some of them become manager, site manager. Even today, we have some VP actually coming from cleaner. But that's one stream. We want to accelerate the development of leader in ISS. So accelerated program is through GMT, Global Management Training, where we are hiring fresh grad from graduate, bachelor and master degree, and we develop them become leader. That's one of the stream, that development of the leader. So if, let's say, we have 10% organic growth in the company, we will need about maybe 20 to 25 new leader that need to be added to our business. So this is actually where we hiring GMT. If we are hiring 10 people from the graduate, another 15 to 20 people coming from internal growth as well. So this is again the commitment of the company to grow within from the company and also to give the opportunity for the external to join us. So that will be the contribution of GMT, how we can manage the company to have sustainable growth with profitable growth, and then to create more job for Indonesian. So this is mainly the contribution of the GMT that will be joining us. Yeah, with that, I think we have answered all the questions, Rayhan.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Elisa and Pak Morgan. So moving on to the next questions. From Ashari Yuda Alfitriansah. Is Ashari still here? If you are still here, you can unmute yourself and open the cam and ask directly the questions to our board of directors. Is Ashari still here?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can ask your question directly, Ashari.
Okay. My question is, since ISS is recruiting from local community, what method is used to make sure that every employee meet the ISS standards throughout the whole ISS service area? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ashari. Bu Ika may want to answer the question from Ashari, Bu?
Sure. So thank you for the question, Asari. How we transform the young generation or people from local community to have ISS standard. We have what we call NCC or a newcomer class. It's actually a 5 days class where we so-called transform by giving the induction on our culture, our value, and how to deliver a good service, how to create experience, or how you create experience with the client. During that 5 days, we call it candidates or our future employee will learn how to work our ISS value, how to work with ISS, and how to transform themselves to be able to deliver our services with client area. So our target is that having done, after all the candidates completed the 5 days program, they will deliver a standard, or they will deliver standard services, and from each of the area we will have the frontliner or our placemaker who do act and behave like ISS value and as of the standard. After they are in the area, we also have the supervisory method where our supervisor is trained to make sure that the standard is there. Every day they have like a briefing, and then after the shift, they also have the evaluation that to make sure that standard is there. And our supervisor is actually the key to keep the changes or to reinforce the changes that have been introduced through the NCC to everybody, so that on daily basis they can keep the standard and make sure that what we deliver to the client is transparent and is similar or also the same, with the same quality from side to side. So maybe hope this answering your question, Asari.
Thank you, Bu Ika. Okay, we may move on to the last questions for today's webinar, coming from Fahmi. And he asks, there are hundreds of applicants, and he wants to know how to stand among the crowd, and will those who have master degree have advantage over undergraduate? Okay, Bu Ika, you may answer the question.
Okay, thank you, Rehan. So thanks for the good question, Fahmi. This actually mentioned by Pa Elisa that although we have our experience, when we move to the new things, we have to learn how to, Pa Elisa mentioned, knowing is not enough. We have to be able to also doing. So even if we have opportunity when we move, we have experience when we move to the new place, we need to learn, and we need to prove that we can deliver. And that's happened to all level, including global management trainee. As I mentioned in my presentation, we have a program that to make sure that after you graduated from management trainee, you'll be able to have the knowledge or also deliver our operation excellence, commercial excellence, and leadership excellence, which means that your degree and the university is that will be your key to enter this program, but it's not like it will not be depends on your degree to make sure or to ensure that you'll be success in this program. How we want to or how do select from among the crowd. We have a selection method like an assessment, a CV screening, an interview, a presentation later on with the CLT, and also we'll give you a topic for you to discuss. So all the series of interview that will determine that whether the candidate is fits with our culture or not. So degree is there only for the key to enter or to apply for this program, but whether you want to succeed throughout the the selection process, it really depends on whether you're you fits for this program. Yeah, so remember that job fits, it's not only depends on the degree, on the academic result, but it also depends on your value, your motivation, and also your drive, the reason, the purpose, why do you want to join the program. Hope this answer your questions.
Thank you, Ibu Ike, Pak Elisa, and Pak Morten for answering all the questions from the participants. But we are really sorry. The time is up for today's webinar. And as we can see, you are all very excited to be on this webinar hearing about ISS Indonesia from our board of directors. So that wraps up our webinar today. Thank you for all the participants for joining today. Thank you, Pak Elisa, Pak Morten, Bu Ike. And once again, we are sorry that we can answer all of your questions because I can see there are a lot of great questions. But you can follow us on LinkedIn, ISS Indonesia, and follow our Instagram at iss.indonesia to learn more or get information about ISS Indonesia and further information regarding the GMT recruitment process. So hoping to see you all at IS Indonesia as our future GMTs. Happy fasting, stay safe, and have a nice weekend. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Good luck for the recruitment. Future young leaders.
Ada Pak.